Cool. All right. Thank you for your patience, everybody. I'm going to hit record for our podcast. Oh, there's Jesse. Everybody, thank you for joining us. This is the ER Shred Come Alive call. My name is Sean Escobar. Our last guest just joined on, so that's perfect timing. We are grateful to be with you guys. You guys, you're probably like me. You're probably on cleanse day 1. And, you know, I was just joking because that's why the hoodie has been on all day long to keep me toasty warm while I do. Actually, it wasn't on all day because we had a window of sun today, and I took off the hoodie and I actually took off my shirt and just sunbathed for about, I know I'm going to make some of you mad when I say that, but I was able to sunbathe for probably about 30 minutes and it was glorious. And you know what? When you do these cleanse days, you guys, we want to make sure that you do some self-care. We want to make sure that, you know, this is an investment that you're making in yourself. You might find that, you know, things are slower. You might find that your brain moves a little slower. I find that on day 1 cleanse, I noticed that the brain is a little bit, you know, it's a little bit behind. And I've just come to realize that that's just part of my normal. Tomorrow, which will be my 2nd consecutive cleanse day, it will be our big, you know, 2nd consecutive cleanse day for our global group New Year shred. And it's going to be a lot easier. I mean, the majority of people report that their 2nd cleanse day is far, far easier. And, you know, you kind of just coast right through it, but it is critically important. 80% of the benefit of what we do is actually realized. The real deep intensive cleansing is realized on the 2nd consecutive day. I kind of like to think of the first day as moving things through and then, you know, creating space. And then the 2nd day is where your body really goes to work at purging and deep-seated stuff. That's all I can really tell you is that the Cleanse for Life juice is loaded with cleansing herbs, botanicals, teas, properties that actually give your natural cleansing faculties, that your cleansing organs, it'll give them a boost in your body's ability to cleanse itself. And it's a real miracle. And the health benefits around this are significant. So you are investing in your health. Remember that when the time gets tough, you're investing in your health. You might need to lie down here or there. You might need to do a little bit of self-care, get a massage, go for a walk. Crystal and I went for a nice long walk today. Why? Because we like to stay busy. We like to keep things moving and stay busy. I had every intention of cleaning my entire barbecue today because I was like, I feel like cleaning other things. I want to clean other things. But I just didn't have the energy to do it, truthfully. And we'll see how I feel tomorrow. Most likely I'll tackle the barbecue tomorrow. And it's funniest thing, since using the barbecue as much as I do, it's become like this thing that I so value and I look forward to cleaning it. And that's how we want to be about our bodies. We want to treat our bodies the same. I've been thinking a lot about the primitive nature of fasting. I like to think about, you know, my ancestors not always having all of the, you know, food and everything at their disposal, readily at their fingertips, microwaves, refrigerators, you know, grocery stores. I like to think of the notion that my ancestors had periods of time where they went without food for probably great lengths of time. And if any of you think you're starving, you're not. There are people who've gone far, far longer without eating. And I mean, there's one individual, you can look it up online. He went a whole year without even eating anything, and his body tapped into his own fat stores and everything. But we're equipped to go great lengths of time without eating. You can only go a few days without water, but you'd be surprised. We are tough. Human beings are tough. We're not modern human beings are not tough, we're soft. And so we need to tap into that more so. And by doing so, the reward is there, let me tell you. All right, we got a fun call tonight. Before I forget, I want to announce a couple of things, because just two things, because I want to promote them now, probably promote them again at the end of the call. It's really big time, big deal. Number one is that next Tuesday, Jesse James Jamnick, our nutrition coach, our coach, will be interviewing Dr. Paul Arciero. And Paul, if you haven't seen the post that we put out about him, he's phenomenal. He is just, we are so grateful for him, and we're so humbled, and we're humbled that he's willing to do this for us. And I think you guys are going to find that he is very much in alignment with ER Shred. Let me rephrase that. He feels that ER Shred is very much in alignment with what he believes is useful in terms of being healthy, being well, reclaiming our health, and living an optimal life. The next Monday, which will be January 30th, I'm going to interview the CEO of Isagenix, Sharon Walsh. I have set that up for selfish reasons, because I love Sharon Walsh. Sharon Walsh is amazing, and she is a godsend. And I feel like with our community being so intimate, and it really does run deep, the relationships and the purpose and the meaning, and I feel like we should all know Sharon Walsh better. So I'm sure all of you agree. We all know she's incredibly talented. We all know she's qualified. We all know she does a really great job, and she has a lot placed upon her. But I feel like on a personal level, it would do us all really a lot of good to get to know Sharon Walsh better, and so that she can lead us. She's our CEO. I can't think of anybody that I'd rather have at the helm right now than her. And I think after we do the call, you guys will understand why I feel that way. Our first guest tonight is Nicole Berger. Nicole, are you out there?
Here. I'm here.
How you doing, Nicole?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Are you, where are you located right now?
I am in a snowstorm in Iowa.
Oh my goodness, a snowstorm. Yeah, there's been a lot of crazy weather around the country for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It just started a couple hours ago, but it's supposed to go probably till, I don't know, tomorrow afternoon sometime. So we'll see.
Shout out to all, there's been so many people without power. A lot of challenges, we're starting to see a lot of challenges. But hey, human perseverance, right? Like, we all need to rally together. We all need to be strong. So Nicole, tell me this, who was it that shared ER Shred with you originally?
Kathy Peters originally shared it with me.
Yeah, Kathy, and she's in Hawaii.
Yep.
And she's amazing. We love her. She's quite the light. And how long ago was that? Just so we have a timeline.
So that was over a year ago. So it was October of 21, I guess.
Okay, very cool.
And it was where she
go ahead.
said, I'm doing this with or without you, but you should join me. And I said, okay, I'll join you. So
she makes things a lot of fun. She's a good friend to have. I've seen you vacation there in Hawaii and visit her. It's really cool.
Yep, absolutely.
Tell us, what's your passion in life?
Oh gosh, my passion, probably coaching or teaching. So I consider myself, I'm a full-time tennis coach as my main job. So that's definitely my passion. Probably a close second would be health. I'm actually going into healthcare eventually. So yeah.
Very cool. Then I always ask these questions because, as a community, we love to get to know one another. And there's probably a lot of people that don't even know who you are. So this is what's neat about coming on the call for an update. Do you mind sharing with everybody, what were your initial ER Shred results when you first did it, and what kind of what was it that got your attention such that you've stuck with it as well?
So it was interesting because first off, I was pretty sick. I definitely had some long-term illnesses going on at the time. And I was at a point that I was like, I need anything to get my energy back, to make me feel better. And then when I first did it, I was sick. I mean, I was going to run into the bathroom. It was a good thing I wasn't working at the time.
When you
Um,
first did your ER shred, you got sick.
my first 11 days, yeah,
Mhm.
I was pretty,
What did
I
that? Do you mind if is it too personal to share? What did that look like?
just everything was running through me.
Diarrhea. Okay.
Yeah, and I felt like it was a lot of toxins. It wasn't like my stomach was really hurting or knotted up. It's just
Mhm.
more like my body just wanted to get everything out and like really reset, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think. Would you say that prior to that time, were you a pretty heavy consumer of, the kinds of carbohydrates that we probably shouldn't be eating?
No, I would say I was closer to more of like a whole 30 type
Mm.
but I was still, what I realized is that I was still doing a ton of sugar with fruits
Mm.
and
Got it.
potatoes and that sort of thing. So I
Got it.
think that's where I was really having the biggest problem.
What kept you going? Like, how did you stick with it, even though that probably felt like, yeah, this may not be for me. Why is this happening? What kept you with it?
One is I was anticipating a detox period, and then probably Kathy was a big supporter of it. I remember at one time I was like day 9 where everybody was coming alive and feeling amazing, and I'm like, I am still running to the bathroom right
Mhm.
now, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Um, so I think it was more like I was at my wit's end. Like I have tried every other diet. I had been on all these different things. I was taking at least, I think at the time I was taking at least like 40 or 50 supplements a day. Um,
Wow. That's a
yeah,
lot. That's one of the most I've ever heard.
and they were, I mean, they were completely organic, grown in the United States. Like they were really, really high end. Um, but it was just stuff to try and get my immune system pumping again, sort of thing. So
Gotcha.
so yeah, so no, it's interesting because especially coming up on the new year, I've really been evaluating like, I've been here for a while. What's my feeling? What's my thought? And one thing is I look back on pictures from even like 2 years ago and I'm like, I just look sick. Like I look healthier now than I have in probably 10 years.
Neat. Isn't
So
that great? And have you, okay, we got to go back to, 10 days was it of feeling unwell, and then did it shift?
I would say probably more into like I stayed on it consistently for probably like 30 days where
Yeah.
I didn't cheat, I didn't go off, I didn't have a sip of alcohol, I didn't do anything. I just did back to back to back. And so I think it was probably about day 14 where it
And what
really
did that look like
that,
when it started to you were able to get beyond that? What health benefits did you start to notice?
I started coming alive. I also noticed probably one of the biggest health benefits is that I'm not sick. I'm not sick anymore. Like it used to be, I used to get sick like once a month easily,
Mhm.
where I was down for 2 or 3 days. And I don't really have that anymore.
How long has it been since maybe we could say it appears as though your immune system has improved? How long has that been? Has that been for the last how long?
So if I started in October, I would say by the middle of November, my immune system had improved. Like it was that
And you're
quick.
talking, you've been experiencing a heightened immune system for over a year.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
isn't
and
that
I
wonderful?
and it's interesting because I notice, I mean, you were talking about the cleanse formula, and I notice if I even feel like a sniffle or something coming on, I'll do a shot of that cleanse before bed, and then I do my ionics first thing in the morning, and that symptom or whatever is gone. Like it's
Yeah,
just doesn't
that's like
even.
an age-old wisdom. Like we've had people doing that since the very beginning.
Yeah, and so that cleanse formula is amazing. I mean, I think I really I love cleanse days. I
Yeah.
feel like they just give me so much energy. By Friday morning, I can't help but just smile and be excited about the day. So
So cool. So what other health benefits have come as a result of ER shredding? Can you think of others?
probably the other one is I did a 60-day workout challenge,
Mhm.
and I really, really worked on my protein numbers, and I gained like, I don't know, I think 8 pounds of muscle mass in like 60 days,
Wow.
which was just awesome.
You were doing resistance training or what were you doing?
I was doing, it was kind of like a jujitsu, but a lot of squats and deadlifts and
Yeah.
push-ups and
I love
TRX.
that. I love that you see that as a win. I see that as a massive win. And I love that you do as well because it's all about body composition. It's not about weight loss all the time. It's about body composition. And so the fact that you understand that excites me. And I hope other women on here who are obsessed with their scales and they hear you say the 8 pounds gained was a win and they're like, wait, what? Oh no.
So I actually lost 1 pound,
Yeah.
but then switched the fat to muscle by 8 pounds. So
Not great. And
yeah.
overall, um have you lost weight overall in the year plus?
So over what am I at right now? I think I'm really close to like, I kind of teeter between 30 and 35 pounds lost.
That's so great.
So
Congratulations.
yeah, I'm trying to do another big push right now and see if I can get under 200 pounds or something like that.
That's
So
great. And I'm sure when you play tennis, things like that, significant improvement.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's crazy. Especially the people I've been playing with lately are just like, whoa, what are you doing? So
Isn't that cool to kind of turn the clock back? Like most people, as we age, oh, I got to play less tennis. I can't go as hard. It's just such an exciting thing to see people pushing back against that and taking back control. So I'm so happy for you. What would you as a veteran now, what would you say to new people that are struggling through, maybe they're feeling some of the struggles you felt? What would your encouragement be?
number one is stick with it. Probably lean into the group. The group has just been amazing. I've been shredding for over a year, and I don't know why. I was so excited to start on Monday. Like, so I mean, it was just going to be a huge group and the energy, and it's just been awesome. So
I love the
definitely
group too.
lean into the group and jump in there. I don't know if I've missed hardly any. Usually I'm not on the calls live on like Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights, but I catch them later on.
Yeah,
So definitely, even if you catch them, a couple days later, listen to the calls. Those always help me and keep me motivated.
it's so cool. Well, you're amazing. We love you. Thank you for coming on and mad respect for you. I feel like I don't know, would you say that you've been more shy in your behavior because to me it feels like we've spoken before and it feels to me like you've really come out of your shell a lot. I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, yeah, there's been times where I've done a lot more, and done some, quick Facebook posts and different things. So, but yeah, I mean, it's really the group. The group's just awesome. I feel like some of these people, like I want to go to wherever they are and meet them, sort of
So
thing.
fun. That's why we need to, get to events. We need to plan events. We need to get to events. It really does make a big difference. Well, we love you, Nicole. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
All right, you guys, our next guest is David Martin. David, are you out there?
Just get unmuted. I sure am. Hello, Sean. Hello, everybody.
No, it's good to be with you, man. Thank you for your post. One of the things I love to encourage people to do is to go write down these names, David Martin, Nicole Berger, write down the names, go to the group, just go to the search bar, search up their name. You can see all of their posts historically. You can see everything. And you did just put out a really awesome post, Dave, that I thought was incredible. So thank you for that.
No, it's my pleasure. It's, you see where you were or where I was well over a year ago and where I was this summer and where I am now.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want to share that to all the new people that are in the Shred group now? And it's growing by leaps and bounds. So if that's going to encourage somebody to say, hey, you know what, stick with it, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why updates are so critically important. I mean, I think about it as people come in, Dave, and they do this. Like, our biggest fear is that they'll just be a flash in the pan. Our biggest fear is that they'll treat it like a diet. And we do not want that. We want people to evolve. We want people to grow. Nicole has grown. I mean, it's amazing. So many of our people, the growth is it's just tangible. You can see it. So Dave, tell me real quick, where are you calling from?
Toronto, Canada.
Cool. Thanks for joining us all the way from Canada. And who was it that shared ER Shred with you?
So that was Carolyn Rodriguez, who I'm sure you know well.
Absolutely.
So back in 2021, she actually shared within her little group there, they kind of did a little ER Shred. And I'm kind of, what is this? So I watched a few videos and I jumped into it. And I'll admit, I think I told you back in October 2021, I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I'm spending almost a whole week going, where's the bathroom? But I tried it again. And then I tried it again. And I'm like, hey, this is great. This is simple and it works. And, thanks to Carolyn, thanks to you guys, since October 21, full time shredding.
October 2000. So pretty much, I mean, it's right in alignment with our last year. It's so cool. And what is your passion in life?
Passion in life. Well, my background, is was that guy up there for a while, but I'm a corporate instructor and teaching people about stuff, and that's my passion in life.
Way cool.
Yeah.
Way cool. And thank you for your service as well.
Thank you.
Okay, Dave. So you get involved with ER Shred. I want to key in a little bit on, I tried it. Would you just fail? Would you just quit? Like, what did that look like? Because I want to get this notion out of people's heads that there is any fail or quit. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if you're not successful, but you just kept going and you pushed through, that's not a fail. You did it. It wasn't what you thought it would be, or it wasn't as successful as you thought, but you did it. And that's a big thing. And that first time I wanted the drop, but I said, no. I said I was going to do it. And when I get it in my head, I'm doing something, it's like a train, 100 miles an hour, I'm going. And, I wasn't successful at it. It was horrible.
When was that the first time?
That was the first time. I believe it was the summer of 2021.
And when you say you weren't successful, does that mean that you didn't like it, didn't get results? Like, what does that look like?
It was, I strayed a few times. I strayed out of the protocol a few times. And as you know, carbohydrates, I can go through life without ever touching another carb. Our body makes them anyways when we eat the meats, and we get it from our shake. But as a guy, sugar addiction, that's a tough one. That's like a heroin addiction.
So when you would stray, what would grab you? What were the things that would you'd slip for?
It would be something like a cookie or a sweet carb or something like that.
Yeah.
It'd be like, and I'd be looking at myself and I'm going, what are you doing? You just railroad your, okay, get back on the horse again. Let's go.
So you, rather than allowing shame and guilt and all of that to set in, you treated it more as like, okay, there's feedback, got the feedback.
Absolutely. That little bit of shame was there, but I would turn around and kick it like, okay, let's go. You can't do this. And, go a few days and, I did it again, So when I say that I wasn't successful, I went through the full, I did the 11 days. But to me, it wasn't successful. That set me up for the next one. I literally continued on. I did another 11-day right after that.
Gotcha. And then what unfolded when it started to click for you? What did that look like?
It became easier. I became more focused at it. And when I started seeing those results, like, oh, I'm not hungry, or I don't need that sweet. I don't need anything else, or I'm starting to sleep a bit better here. Okay, this is I'm onto something here. So that's when it clicked in, and to be honest, the simplicity. Both my wife was doing, she's just sitting over here off to the side listening. And she's like, this is simple. You make up a bunch of meat for the week. Hello, get that done in a few hours. We got our meals for the week, and I just have to incubate shakes. Are you kidding me? How much easier is it? Like, I don't have to do anything else.
What other kind of health benefits did you guys begin to realize then?
One of them was better sleep,
Mm,
more mental alertness, that
Mhm.
brain fog. It took a while for that brain fog to disappear, right?
right.
But that brain fog slipped away. You know, memory, things just, it was just easier. Energy levels, absolutely, the energy levels just came back.
Yeah. Did you, I mean, your pictures indicate that you did lose a significant amount of weight as well.
A lot of that was, you know, as you can see the picture, inflammation, right?
Ah,
Inflammation, you get that inflammation, and there was, you know, there's, yeah, I'm gonna say there was fat there, of course. I believe my weight loss was about 26 pounds,
fantastic.
and I maintained that for most of the time, and I fluctuated a little bit as I've, you
Mhm.
know, been trying out different things over the time since then. But we have not stopped incubating our shakes.
Mm,
We eat a mostly carnivore diet outside of those shakes. In fact, we're not even touching a whole veg this month, and we've done that before. It's you know, the weight loss and keeping it off. Look, I don't have sore knees. I don't have a sore
Were they
back.
bad before, the back and the knees?
The lower back and the knees, yeah, absolutely. You know, it wasn't say
Mm,
on a scale of, you know, up to 10, you know, I would say some days it was a 6 or a 7. I don't have an ache in my knee. I don't have an ache in my back. I don't have an ache anywhere in my body anymore.
wow.
Nowhere.
That's amazing.
So if that's not reason enough for me, that's what just keeps me motivated. Okay, keep going. Keep
Mm,
going. Yeah.
love that. Love that. So, and then as far as your blueprint, have you guys, you say that you guys, you kind of stick more so towards or near carnivore in your meals. Um, are you still working on that blueprint, or are you still attempting to, or do you just decide, have you decided that no, this is what I like and this is how I thrive? Like, I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, so that is something that we decided to challenge ourselves since January 1st of this
Mhm.
year. And of course, we've been incorporating not bread, you know, a little bit of carb here and there, and incorporating vegetables and different things like
Mhm.
that. But we decided, you know what, we're going to take our incubated shakes, and our meal is just going to be pure meat and
Mhm.
butter, tallow, ghee, whatever it is that we've got. We've got, you know, a bunch of them inside. You know, lard, and you know, we have that in the house. So we've, you know, the flavors, and you
Mhm.
know, and we mix that up, and salt. That's it.
I think everybody's different. I think I feel better fat fueled predominantly. I told that to Jesse. Jesse and I were together. He eats a little more carb than I do. He eats good, clean carbs. He believes in carbohydrates for sure. And so do I. But
Yep.
I eat less than him. I feel better that way. So it's just kind of dialing in what makes you thrive, what makes you feel well. I think that's the thing about ER Shred we need to make clear is it's open-ended. It's open-ended
Totally.
by design. So
Totally.
we don't pigeonhole people and say this is how you have to eat forever. Everybody's diet is going to be unique and different, for them.
Yeah, you know, I had one of my previous students when I was teaching in college with the law enforcement program. She did the ER shred back this summer. She said,
Mhm.
"Sir, like, help me out here." And she'd been an existing customer. And I said, "Look, this is what it is. This is what you can do." I said, "Can you eat meat, butter, salt for a few days?" And she's like, "Are you kidding me?" Of course. Massive success. And she may very well be listening in on this. She's a bylaw enforcement officer now, but she promised she'd try to listen in. But amazing success on this girl. She just came back and she said, "You know what? I think I need to do another 11 days, maybe a couple of more." So, um, you know, she was one of the first ones that say, "Do I have to eat meat all the time?" No, 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 no.
Right.
Do the protocol. Just stick to the protocol. Work it, and then afterwards, find what works for you. A little bit of veg, maybe a little bit of clean carb. Maybe you just want to stick to meat because it's so damn delicious. So, and that's what she's doing, and that's what my wife and I've done. And are you kidding me? Like, we're thriving right now. Is just our shake and meat.
Yeah.
butter, whatever. We're still refining to see how we are. I won't say that I won't ever have, a good veg down the road.
Right.
May very well again, or a little bit of a carb, absolutely. But right now, feeling awesome.
Feeling awesome. You guys, real quick, self-admitted sugarholic, maybe.
Oh,
Well, how is that? How's the cravings when you're fueling this way?
this month right now, what, 18 days in, zero.
None.
I've had zero sugar cravings,
Yeah.
none.
What do you
My
think
wife-
kills
my
that?
wife's not a
What
sugar
is it
one.
that your wife what?
Pardon? So I was gonna say, my wife is not a sugar fiend. If she has something, it's really small, but the cravings, zero.
Yeah. Just
Love it.
nullified.
Done.
It's so amazing, man. I love that. I want that for people. That's a gift.
It is a gift, absolutely. And I always say, like you said earlier, it's open-ended once you've gotten this protocol and you've gotten yourself to that point where you say, damn, I feel great. And then you play around, see what works for you, what doesn't work for you.
Right.
I think that's the blessing in this whole thing is
Me too.
you get to find out what works for you.
I think it throws people a little, David. I think people they're used to failing, craving, caving, tanking, cheating. They're used to backsliding, as they call it. Like it's all
Yep.
these things, and it's like, we really, you don't have to put so much meaning on all of that. These are all learning opportunities.
Absolutely. I say that for the last, going into my 8th year here and with using Isagenix products and, a year and a half in this group, kind of biohacking my own self.
Yeah.
What works,
Cool.
what doesn't work, right?
Very
I
cool.
love it.
David, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, you guys. I hope you guys are getting excited. I hope the new people, especially, the reason I really value these long-term shares is because if this was some fad thing, if this was some gimmicky type thing, we wouldn't have people doing it for so long and still so unbelievably enthusiastic about it, would we? Jessica Tessier, are you out there?
I am here.
Hey, Jessica, how are you doing?
I am great. How are
Are
you?
we twinning it up right now?
We are.
Yeah, that's so cool. So thanks for joining us. Where are you calling from?
Norton, Vermont.
Norton, Vermont. And who shared ER Shred with you?
Mickey Voter.
Mickey
shared
Voter.
this share.
Yep.
Yep, she actually shared Isagenix with me and then later on ER Shred.
Love that. And what is your passion?
Oh, geez. I've got a lot of them. Honestly, my animals, the farm life, the animals are really, I
How
keep
many
coming back to that.
animals do you have?
Well, at the moment, there's about 800 heifers in the backyard, 5 horses. I ended up getting 2 new draft horses after losing King, a donkey. I don't know how many dogs. Just
Oh my gosh. Well, that was even more than I expected.
people ask me, they're like, "Wait, did you say 100?" I'm like, "Yeah, 100."
Dang, what a
The
life.
farm has 4,600 head of dairy cattle up here.
Amazing. I've been watching those, 1823, 19, whatever it is, Yellowstone. Like I so vibe with all of it. And I just find it to be so fascinating. I feel like I was born in the wrong era, in the wrong place. I
say that
really-
daily.
So anyway, thank you so much for being with us. And how long have you been ER shredding?
Oh, this coming July will be 2 years. So about a
2
year and a half now.
years. Wow. Cool.
Yes.
Can you speak to, you've heard these other shares, like, how has it been for you? What was it initially that really got your attention and grabbed you and held you?
For me, it was so easy. There was no thought process. It wasn't, planning out meals, thinking about this, thinking about that. It was just easy.
Right.
Go with it. I was coming from a very bad place. I was, when I started ER Shred, I had, I was hungover as all hell when I started this. coming off of, I just said, just a really, really bad place. And, my first 2-day cleanse was like the aha moment of, oh my gosh, I just feel so good. But again, that brain fog and everything that I was dealing with, was just gone. And then that's what really grabbed me, was okay, I'm awake now. And now let's go forward and, keep going. And I did my first one and didn't stop. And for almost the first year, I didn't stop shredding.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you also were our like first official, like pure ER shred, 100-pound weight loss.
Yes. Yep.
So amazing.
Yeah. And after that, I can't tell you exactly where I'm at weight wise because I blew up the scales.
Yes.
We dumped tannerite in the back of that thing and hit it with a 12 gauge. It was awesome.
I didn't catch the video.
The video did not load.
Oh,
We had the video going and it did not load. So we've said we've got to go get another one just to do it so it will load, because I was so upset because I had everything all set up. And
just borrow someone you really care about, borrow their scale and then blow it up.
I can do that too.
You give them a gift. You give them a gift.
Yeah.
No, and you guys, some people are really attached to their scales, actually, is what I've come to find.
Oh yeah.
And it was so cool to have one of our people that smashed their scale. I mean, she said she weighed every day of her life like 10 times a day.
Yes.
So for people to break free from that is such a gift. I have not weighed myself in 2 years.
I went
2 years.
I've had some medical issues going on that I've had to go to the doctor. And every time I go in, they're like, "I'll step on the scales," and I refuse. And they're totally blown away. I'm like, I'm not stepping on the scales because that has zero relevance to why I'm here. So I'm not going there. And they'll look at me and they're like, "What, you need to?" And I'm like, "No, I don't need to."
I
I'm like,
just close my, like when I do those kinds, I just close my eyes. Say, don't tell me what I weigh. You can write it down. Just don't tell me.
No, I just tell them no. I'm like, until if it doesn't have any value on what I'm here for. So
Yeah.
get rid of it. And they'll just kind of look at me and scratch their head. But I'm like,
So the weight loss was major. You had a
Yes.
moment where you kind of came alive. What else? What did the Jessica of before and the Jessica of post ER shred? What other differences were there?
at this point in time, I am doing things that I never would have thought I was doing. I've been applying for new jobs. I'm back in school full time, plus working full time, going into management roles where I'm at through work. And I never would have thought of applying. And it's like I've applied for a couple, and I keep getting awesome feedback from my interviews. I haven't been selected yet, but I've got the management team looking for a job for me in the management because they're like, "You need to be here. We just haven't found the right fit."
Right.
And it's stuff I never would have done, confidence wise. I just, I was in that, get up, go to work, come home, grab a drink, go to bed, get up and do it all over again tomorrow. And it was the same routine without any value to what I was doing. There was no enjoyment. I just did because that's what you do. And now it's, I'm going to work, I'm happy, I'm bouncing around, I'm cutting trees with the guys, slinging chainsaws around. And they're like, "The heck is with that girl?" Up and down banks, and just, I have fun no matter what I'm doing. So.
Oh my God. I love that. I love the spillover into life. That matters. I mean, that's what it's all about. The spillover is, we come alive and we become empowered, and then that empowerment starts to spill over into other areas of our life. That's what I've witnessed in the community again and again and again. And that's why I love it when people in here are like, keep in the community, keep going to the community,
Yes.
keep participating, keep trying, keep sharing, keep reading, because the community has this crazy, powerful effect on people overall. It's just the coolest thing. I want to believe it's done it for me too. I really believe that.
Like I said, I've been dealing with some health challenges outside of, anything, ER shred related, but there's a few people that I can reach out to in the group that, I've connected with, and I'm like, hey, and I know they've experienced the same thing in
Mhm.
different areas of their life. And I'm like, hey, I'm dealing with this, I need help because my mind is not putting me where I need to be right now. And I feel myself, and you start to feel like, okay, I'm starting to slip backwards, and you can reach out and it's like, hey, pull your head out of your ass and keep going, and it's like, I hear that in Jesse's nicest voice when he says that, what the fuck's wrong with you? Keep going, it's like, but you have that, moment of, who to reach out to when you need that help of,
Yeah.
I'm struggling and I just can't, get away from whatever is going on, the stuff that you can't control, and
right.
Susan, who's in charge here? These are the questions that, you have when you're dealing with shit that you can't, that you don't have control over. But it's given you that sense of community where you don't necessarily have it in other areas of life. So,
Love
and
that.
that to me is, and reaching out and, the things we're doing, doing the stair climb in Boston last year, and Jennifer and I have signed up to do it again this year. And I'll tell you, that kid, she'll climb out of bed, I'm out of bed at 2:45 in the morning, and she's getting up with me. She's like, are you getting on the elliptical or am I? And you better hurry up because I got, my time scheduled. And she's just go, go, go. But again, it's that connection, knowing that Heather's planning on going. We're going to catch up with Yukon Cornelius down there. And connect. But stuff like that, that's what keeps us going, is the community, and knowing that there's somebody there that can pick you up when you desperately need it. And it's like, okay, rather than feeling yourself slip and fall, it's like, okay, I'm sliding just a little bit, but I didn't go down, because I had somebody there reaching out their hand and pulling you along, going, hey, you're better than that. Remember who you are. Remember, where you came from, and where do you really want to go?
Pure goodness.
And yes, Jason, I did say 2:45 in the morning.
You
The
got
phone rings at
Jessica beat right
3:15 to
That's
plow
amazing.
snow. So,
Jessica, we love you. I so respect you. And I just wanted to say, like, totally blown away by you. Love the vulnerability. Love it, because we're all just human.
Yep, that we are. And if you think, okay, you've had a bad day, we all have bad days. It's what you do with it. Are you going to crawl in bed and pull the covers over your head and sleep your life away? Or you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to get up tomorrow and try again. And if I'm feeling like I can't, who am I going to reach out to that's going to pull me along and say, hey, you can do this? And we're all here to do that for everybody. And that's the best part of this community.
Yeah. Nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Jessica, amazing. Just pure goodness. Thank you so much. I'm gonna just breathe that one in. I love what the community is doing for people. That is so meaningful. Our last share tonight is Bob Sivright, our ER Shred ambassador. Bob Sivright, are you out there?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
How you doing, handsome?
Yeah, right. Doing all right.
Well, good.
I'm excited because I'm finally doing an 11-day ER shred, because I had a couple things happen where it kept getting pushed out. So I feel good. Day one is awesome.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So what would you, how do you feel about the things that were shared? I love, with your, I ought to just share with everybody. Bob was very involved and, remains very involved. Bob was part of, I consulted with Bob on everything as we formed ER Shred. He offered so many powerful insights and contributions to ER Shred. We love him dearly. We love it. He and his wife, they're amazing people. He's impacted the lives of countless. And I remember when Bob did originally come alive, it was the coolest thing, because he held out for a long time, and he was so worried about doing this for, he knew this guy reads his stuff. I don't know anybody that's more well-read, and it took a lot of convincing, and he finally gave this a chance. And then he had this moment where he literally, like we talk about, come alive. Like there's a reason we say it. And he had this moment when he came alive. And I remember, I think he was in his front or his backyard, and he literally came to tears. He's just shaking his head. I can't believe how good I feel. Do you remember that?
No, I still like yesterday. Part of that is my wife pushing me to do a Facebook Live and going out, and again, and I think a lot of people wonder, especially for people who've been with Isagenix or been doing this for a very long period of time. I'm just so moved by these testimonials. This is about life, and life is a journey, and it doesn't always deal you the cards that you think you're going to get. And in my situation, and I know Sean, we've been talking a long time, I did the macro diet, someone who had a lot of success with a lot of Isagenix, finalists. And I thought, I'm going to do this thing. And it did the opposite for me. So the the awareness, the understanding that there isn't one simple solution other than ER Shred allows you to get to baseline and then start that journey of awareness, looking inwards, finding out what really works. And to be honest, Sean, I was terrified of doing all meat because, like so many, I listened to my doctors and other doctors, and you can't do this, and you've got this disease in your family. And after blowing up on that macro diet, and I pushed up to like 230, I felt like hell. Got myself back to 210, 215-ish, where I had been at for like 17 years, right? You're telling me about the ER Shred, and I honestly, I was just scared. So it took me a little time. I think it was October 20th. So I was about 20 days late, but I finally said yes. And it wasn't day 5, but it was like day 7 or day 8. But it was emotional. And it was that level of understanding, like, my God, I never understood you could feel as good as I'm feeling right now. So whatever your bar is that you've set on yourself, that's self-inflicted. And it doesn't mean that's as high as you can go. And that's on anything in life. And I look at the lessons from Jesse to Susan and talking about really getting in tune with your body and what you have said. And then hearing David talk about a biohack, because I'm trying to figure out, how do we explain this thing? This is the single best biohack in the world. And I know we're not going to be fans of the people in Davos, Switzerland, who want everyone to eat insect protein and whatever. For those that are following the World Economic Forum, it's amazing what we've discovered, because I think people think we're insane when we talk about the red meat and the butter and so on. But look at this group, 2.5 years, almost, getting close to 2.5 years. Look at how healthy people are. And I haven't been on a Zoom in a while, but I'm looking at all these old friends and faces. And I'm like, going, damn, they look younger than they did the last time I saw them. And it just seems to be, it's an ongoing evolution. I mean, we're definitely Benjamin Buttoning for those that watch that movie. I mean, we're going, which is fun. But I think for me, because I'm competitive, but I'm always trying to strive for something. And now this was an important lesson for me. I was excited. I just hammered a great workout. I was busting with energy. I go upstairs, take my shirt off, and I go, damn, I'm looking pretty good. I think I got to do a Facebook Live. So I jump in the shower. I run downstairs. I'm ready to do my Facebook Live. I didn't run downstairs yet. I'm on my phone, literally doing the Facebook Live title, trying to get it in. And I started racing down the wooden steps. I don't have any carpeting or anything like that. And I literally slipped, and I'm lucky I didn't kill myself. Oh, yeah. But I landed on my elbow. I busted it wide open, and I spent, unfortunately, the night in the ER because everybody was coming down with crud or whatever, right? And that was that. I didn't work out from Thanksgiving until just recently in January.
This last Thanksgiving?
Yeah. I was so fired up because I literally, man, I'm telling you, my abs were there. I'm like,
no, I've noticed.
But the thing is, though, you tend to put, I don't know, for me, I can't do a Facebook Live until, I don't want to go backwards. I want to show constant improvement, et cetera. And that's just not reality. So for me, it was a Facebook Live that Susan did, but talking about forgiveness. And I was listening to Jesse on some of the challenges that you run into. And sometimes life doesn't give you a fair deal sometimes. And you're like, okay, this was unexpected, but it was like a timeout. Okay, it happened for a reason, and maybe my body needed a rest from working out. I have no idea. But what I like about what ER Shred has done for me is that rather than getting really angry and frustrated, for the first time, I was able to take it kind of in stride and said, okay, this is what it is. And we'll get through this. So anyway, the good news is I'm back. My wife did get COVID. I was going to start cleansing immediately, but because she came down with that, I thought, well, maybe I'd hold off on the cleanse. But the reality is that if we stick to it and do the best that we can, it's extraordinary what's possible with the human body.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I just know that I'm healthier. My immune system's better. I am stronger at 61 than I was at 42 when I started this program way back when. And it kind of sounds crazy to say that, but 61, man, I'm an old man for most, but I can do more pull-ups now than I did when I was 42. And the whole thing is, it isn't necessarily the competition for me. It's the opportunity or the understanding that I'm going to be here tomorrow for my daughter, my family, and so on. And I'm going to be able to live life to my fullest, whatever that might be. And I think that's what you've done with ER Shred. It's just extraordinary that you've given a safe environment for so many people to come together and discover themselves.
Mm. We have done that. Thank you. We all have done that.
But think about it. Every other program out there is do this, don't do that. And you got to do it just like this. And that's just not sustainable. That's just not reality.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at what we have done with this community, it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
And I just wish I could do a better job at getting this word out. Like, you got to check this thing out. And we're getting there. We're not getting there as fast as I'd like to see, but I think this year with corporate, with what you've done, having Sharon coming on, having Dr. Paul, I mean, this is huge, guys. I mean, we're finally connecting with the right powers, and I think it's only going to elevate the group.
I love that, Bob. Bob and I have become really close friends. And, that's one of the cool things that Jessica pointed out about the community is you have these relationships that it's so much more meaningful and goes way beyond just a nutrition protocol or, even a financial opportunity or what have you. The relationships, they really do matter. And that's been an exciting part of this journey for me. So, Bob, I want to acknowledge you. I always want to acknowledge you for the impact that you've had on me personally. You've given me a lot of great life counsel. You've been a tremendous friend and confidant. I really love you for that. I also wanted to ask you one more quick question, and that is, how in the hell are you still excited about this over 2 years later?
Well, I tell you what, doing a cleanse when you haven't done one since October, for example, because Sean brought that question up to me. So how often do you cleanse? I said, about 2 days every 6 weeks or so, but definitely I do an 11-day every quarter, more or less. That seems to be the average over the last 19 years now. And the interesting thing is, for me, it's okay, we're going to do the 11-day ER Shred. I'm going to button up. We're going to get really targeted. And that first day for me, that first day of cleanse, is like day 2 now. I don't know how to explain it, but it used to be day 1 was a little challenging. And if you're brand new to this group, it's going to be tough. It's tough before it gets better. But if you've been doing it for a while, day 1's like a day 2. And day 2 is just out of this world. You feel so darn good. So yes, having the feeling I have right now, and you capture that, I used to say magic in the bottle. When you capture magic in the bottle, like lightning in the bottle, you never want to let it go. And that's why you can be this excited. And hell, I mean, it was fun. I had to go do another PCR test and go to the doctor, and Allison's, I'm exposed and my daughter's coming and you got to make sure you don't have it. And I'm like, okay, I'll go do the routine. And the most crazy thing happened. The nurse that was in there kept asking me 1,000 questions. She said, "You're not on any kind of medication?" I'm going, "No." And she goes, "You're not on blood pressure medication?" I go, "No." I go, "Why are you asking?" And she said, "I haven't seen anything like this. You're 61 years old and your numbers are like," and that's the validation. That's when you come in, you're doing something right. And of course, my test was negative, which was good. And just had to smile and say, "Hey, it's our program."
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's pure positivity. Bob, you look very happy. When you're on, and I can tell you're on right now. And I want to feel optimal all the time. Why not? I'm going to give my best shot. I'm going to give my fighting chance to be my optimal at all times. I think it's a worthy proposition.
It can happen, but also, as Susan would say, when it doesn't happen and life gets in the way, forgive yourself and give yourself some grace. Because that's the journey, and it's not always easy, but we always have the ability to come back, and coming home and seeing your faces, all you guys on here. I'm like going, damn, I've missed these Zooms. I see it on Facebook, but I'm thinking, I have to get on here more often to just see everyone's face. I missed you all in New Year's kickoff, but hopefully celebration. So
Yeah, for sure in Orlando. All right, Bob, we love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We need to throw swords up for all these shares tonight. You guys are all so amazing. You guys all brought it. God, I love it so much. Don Drury, we're all thinking about you. We all love you dearly. It was a great segue there, Bob, because we're going to have Susan share her thoughts on the shares tonight. Our head of our health professional board, Susan Rothman, she's a holistic nurse. And then she will turn it over to our nutrition coach, Jesse James Jamnick, to close us out. Thank you so much, everybody. Susan, are you out there?
Okay, yeah, I'm here. Another amazing call. And you know, I feel this way in the community too. It's like, oh man, I get to hang out every day with the cool kids, right? Because we've got the energy in this community. And you know, there's so many things I could say about what was shared tonight. You know, like David, well, all of you, but it's like people are just tripping into following their instincts. So as a health professional, working with people on their health for like 30 plus years, and definitely in the nutrition space, diet and lifestyle for at least the last 26. And Bob said it, giving them roadmaps, suggestions, ideas, books, writing plans out for people, giving them, pouring information into them, and nothing, like a day, a week, a month. And here everyone is tripping into radical personal responsibility and finding their own way. It really spoke to me when David was sharing. He's finding his own way in this, and he's not stopping and not beating himself up. He's just course correcting in his own intuition and what his body is telling him. You know, this as someone who, you know, is in love with health and wellness and wants to see people have better lives, change their lives, I've never seen anything like it. So every time I come in here, I'm like, oh my God. And then I know I'm with my people because, and you know, I always said when I really started deeply studying nutrition, and I don't know where I got this, but I always felt that nutrition animates you, that it walks and talks, that it will lift your spirit. And I never got to live that out in others until this community and this protocol. So, you know, we all know we're definitely onto something here. You know, me and Jesse both, it's like even the way I move with patients today who are not doing what we're doing and they want to argue with me about what they're eating and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, so, I mean, I have to tone it down. I'm in a medical office. It's like, look, I'm not doing this. I'm telling you something. Keep doing what you're doing. How's that working for you? And just sitting in such a seat of certainty. And then, of course, since we all are wanting to share this out, we do have to, and there was this thread in the group today, we have to recognize that we have to meet people where they are, you know, and, you know, really what Bob was saying about looking at this community and what people look like and the glow, and me too, you know, I can do more sit-ups, I can run better than I did in my 40s, for God's sake. My friends are like, oh my God, there she goes. But this is how I want to live my life, right? So it's attraction rather than promotion. And it's the most interesting thing because I'm sure all of us have experienced people are noticing you. And then they have these myths and these ideas, and you can almost feel the electricity of the resistance. You just keep doing what you're doing because they're watching. And it is absolutely undeniable what's going on in here. So thank you all for your shares. Oh, and I did want to remind everyone, my first targeted solutions is going up tomorrow. It's going to be on hair loss. It'll be in the Holistic Corner. And I plan to do one every month. So that's it. I'm going to turn it over to my brother, Jesse.
Susan, you're amazing. Susan's doing hair loss. Jesse's really excited. Everybody knows. Everybody. Bob just. Holy shit, Bob! You're gonna keep. Everybody. Bob got so excited he just fell over. I love this. I love all of you. Thank you so much, Nicole, Dave, Bob, everybody, Jessica. I mean, you're all freaking rock stars, and I love you all for showing up because, you know, Sean, I agree with you. Like having these long-term stories. Like I'm doing backflips for people after 11 days. I'm so excited. And anybody that I can get to and I can comment to, I'm cheering for them. But when you see the longevity, you know, it really just kind of hammers home the magic, right? That's the magic, is that it never to us ever, not even one thought in our mind in the conversations in the beginning, you know, that was actually the thing that we promised each other. We're like, not an overnight thing, not a diet culture. We're not going to do some marketing bullshit on people. Like we were so serious, right, Sean? Like it was really important. And I hope we realize what that means, because research has even shown that community is actually one of the most important things for stickivity, for longevity, for lasting. And that's really what I wish for everybody. You know, it makes me so sad when I see people, you know, go away. Like it really makes me sad, because I know without a doubt in all of my body, from all of the years of doing this and practicing myself and putting myself through the most ridiculous program possible, you know, I know without a doubt in my soul that this is the tracks for people to run on. I believe that. And like Susan says, like, I can't even reckon with myself to argue with anybody anymore, because that's how sound it is, you know? And I am like over the moon to chat with Dr. Paul. I mean, you guys have to understand, like, this dude elevated my interest even in research and science. When I tell you, one of the most down-to-earth, humble, like amazing human beings, but also brilliant beyond like the stratosphere. 60 publications, 80 abstracts, one of 15 members of like prestigious scientists on the International Protein Board. Hello, now we're speaking my language. One of the foundational pillars of VR Shred, right? So, and then we got corporate, and then we have, you know, and so we're meshing. Everything is just like, it's all coming together. We talked about the ER Shred being a smorgasbord in the beginning of all these things. And it's like, look at it, right? If you dream it, they will come, right? That thing is real, for crying out loud. If you envision a better life, it can happen. And as Dave said, the most important thing is you just got to keep showing up. I hope that's a good message that any new person can really take from tonight, is community is everything. It's everything. Everybody wants to be a part of a team, right? If you've played any type of sports growing up, you feel me, don't you? Like, you thrived on that. It was everything. If you got a good working environment and a good culture at your job, it's everything. Your success in moving the needle in life, I have come to learn, is everything. I can't be the one chip on the shoulder Jesse and think I'm going to make it somewhere. Boy, was that a mistake. So show up in the community. It's everything, right? And don't ever give up. You're never not shredding, right? That makes me sad too, you know? And I'll end with this, but it's like, you're never not shredding. Because even if you come in and you're a person that struggled, we heard Nicole speak. She was so kind to be so vulnerable. Even if you've struggled, and David touched on this, you just got to come back. You didn't fail. You know why? I had one of my own personal guys. I reached out. I knew he fell off during the holidays, right? Like, I know I've done this long enough. I reach out. I don't hear from somebody at first. It's like message every day. And then it's like cricket. chirp, 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 chirp. And I'm like, oh, they need me. They need me. I've been coaching long enough, right? So I reach out and I'm, Will, what's up? He's like, oh, bro. He's like, listen, I'm like, I fell off. He's like, but listen, man, I no mayo and no bread. He's like, so it wasn't perfect, but no mayo and no bread. I'm like, bro, that's remarkable. Do you understand what no mayo and no bread can do for your life? Now you have that empowerment. So you pick yourself back up, you come back, and what if you add one more? What if you add one more next time? What if you show up again and you add 2 more things? Now you're at 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Now you show up again and you add one more. Now you see what I'm saying? The compound interest, my friend, the compound interest on that is the long game. And that's what I wish for every single one of you. There is no value in the short game, the long game in business, in health, in all we do. We're playing the long game with ER Shred. And I hope you're on that right train track to come and play with us. That's all I got to say.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Thank you, Susan. You guys are amazing. We're so grateful to have both of you. You guys, we really are blessed to have you guys in our lives. And I'm going to unmute everybody. We can all shout good night. I can't unmute everybody. You got to unmute yourselves.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
Good
night.
night.
Hi, everyone.
Great call.
Bob Sivrite, it was really nice seeing you.
I'm
You
so
look-
Good to see you, man.
You look really
Absolutely,
good.
Bob.
You really do look very handsome.
Sean, I
Great
actually
to
have
hear.
one of those
He's got the hair. He's got the
inversion
hair.
boards behind me. That's what I tripped
Oh.
on. I was laughing so hard. I have the teeter behind me, so I forgot to. I forgot to put it down. So I literally stepped on it, and then I got myself caught on the leg part of it.
Oh my God.
Anyway, thanks.
That was the most handsome moment, though, Bob.
I had the couch perfectly situated to fall into, so
You got
thank goodness.
so lucky that couch was there. We need it. Heather has to clip
Oh
that
my
one out for sure.
That couch wasn't there. My elbow would be. I'd be back in the freaking doctor getting fixed up again.
I just thought you were falling for Jesse again. So
Oh, that's sweet.
Hey, Sean, can I say something real quick?
You see what community really is. Like this is what this will literally change your life, friends. This stuff changes lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead. Was that Dawn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. I just, I wanted to thank everybody for the love and prayers.
Oh,
You may or may not know, my mother-in-law died last Thursday, and my mother died Monday morning.
Oh.
You know, freaking 2 moms in 4 days. And I've got a lot of love for this group, this community, and it means a lot. So thank you.
We love you, Don.
we love you, Don.
So
Yeah,
still
we love you.
praying and lifting you up.
Yes,
Thank you.
it's good to see you here, Don.
I'm glad you came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Thank you.
Love you all.
Good
Love
night,
you too.
guys.
Good
Good
night.
night,
everyone.
all.
good night,
Good night,
guys.
guys.
Hey, if anybody wants to work out at 3 a.m, I can jump online and we can do it together.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on going to the bathroom maybe. That's about it.
I'm always awake. You can call me.